I was very fit. I ate really well. I woke up every morning, even though I was hungover, and went for a run. I did sauna. I had successful businesses. I had a family. I traveled the world. And yet I couldn't shake this one issue.
Mike, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Can you do the honors and just explain to the audience who you are and what you do and a little bit more about why you do it?
Right now, I run the podcast for a software company called Sunnyside that helps people who want to drink less. I also wrote a best-selling book called No Willpower Required. And more recently, I run a company called Cloud9 Health, which are natural supplements that help drinkers with whatever their goals are, whether it's to protect their health or to change their current drinking habits.
You and I have something very unique and special in common. At least I kind of feel like I'm the only person out there doing this, where you are actually supporting mindful drinking, which is really kind of different from most people. It's an all or nothing solution. You either quit drinking or you suck it up.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the personal journey relates to that in the struggles. And so I went through college and high school, typical rebellious teenager, 20 something into a frat. Never learned how to drink. The only way I learned how to drink was either on TV or drink as much as you can, as fast as you can, laugh about it the next day. But I still got everything done. I got through school. College was great. I did a master's degree. And then as I moved out of college, the parties stopped. In the evening, when I come home, I felt like I still wanted to be that fun guy. So I'd be like, well, maybe if I got a bottle of wine and had a glass, at least I'm like chilling out, still kind of that fun guy. Well, fast forward, that became a ritual and that became a habit that became a real problem for me. And when I realized that it was really difficult to change. On the outside, everything looked great. Like I was very fit. I ate really well. I woke up every morning, even though I was hungover, and went for a run. I did sauna. I had successful businesses. I had a family. I traveled the world, and yet I couldn't shake this one issue. There was so much cognitive dissonance going on with aligning with who my values and who I saw myself in one aspect. One time I did a 30-day break and I went 30 days. And I remember this moment. I was at the pump getting gas and I said, man, I'm at 30 days. I feel pretty good. I have never done 60 days. Why don't I do 60 days? I said to my wife, hey, I think I'm going to do 60 days. So I did 60 days. The additional 30 days was not as hard as the first one. Then I was like, I have never done 90 days. I went 90 days. I didn't count days beyond that, but I went just about a year. I got to a point where I was just like, what changed? And so I really started to evaluate what changed this time versus all the other times. And so I really, for my own interest, got into habit change, neuroscience. I was able to break this nightly drinking pattern. And when I say I almost went a year, that's because at that point I thought to myself, the goal was never to be sober for the rest of my life. The goal was to no longer drink every single night. And I had achieved that. But what I had this lingering question was do I have to make it this forbidden thing for the rest of my life? And I just felt deep down that probably wasn't the case. And luckily these days, there's more conversation going on. And I'm so thankful for that because I think the more options that are out there, the better, because it's so nuanced. There's no one size fits all approach. The biggest stopping point, I believe, for most people is that they think that they have to go this all or nothing approach. They think that they build up the hurdle to get started so high that they never get started. So why don't we just lower that hurdle? Why don't you look at it like an experiment? Hey, you know what? Normally tonight, I'm going to drink a bottle of wine or 2 bottles of wine. Tonight, why don't I try drinking half that or maybe 1 glass less and see how I feel? Or I always drink every Friday. Maybe don't drink this Friday and just see how it goes. Do these little experiments. Just start where you are, see what seems manageable, as long as your life is not absolutely running off the rails and the end of that is some of the deepest, darkest places. But if you have room to run experiments in your life and see if you can do them, they can start to give you some wins and confidence to feel like you can start making bigger steps.
Yeah, so let's talk about somebody who just heard that and was like, "All right, I'm not going to drink on Friday." I mean, we've both been through that particular. I mean, I woke up every morning and said I'm not going to drink tonight.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about the mindset. I mean, I know we want to get into some biology as well, support, but talk to me about the mindset that they may not see, because I promised myself I wasn't going to drink just one day, like maybe 1,000 in a row. And of
Yeah.
course that just perpetuated evidence of failure in my brain. That's the hurdle. It's your motivation is down regulated when you perceive something to be a failure. And I know that what you and I are talking about with the all or nothing mindset, well, that's also the success or failure mindset. Like you got to stop chasing the highs and just move the needle.
I would make commitments without strategy. You need to have strategies for when the cravings arrive. Simple pauses like if you come home on Friday and you say to yourself you're not going to drink, and you're coming home and you're like, oh my God, I really want to drink. You really don't actually want the alcohol. You want what the alcohol provides. When you say I really want to drink, is it I really want to relax. I really want to like not think about this thing I'm thinking. And what are things that you can do? Like if you have ruminating thoughts and you can't stop them, is there somebody that you could call? Can you just go for like a 20-minute walk and boost some of those levels? But even if you do screw up the next day, you need to, instead of just beat yourself up, you need to use that as just as much of a strategy to learn.
Basically, you can't keep sending yourself into the same situation and expecting different results. Habits are contextual. It's Friday night, it's 5 o'clock. And if you put yourself into the same situation you always do, your brain is going to bully you.
So I think the first thing is just to give yourself permission to not get so damn serious and not to think that you have to figure it all out while you're chemically imbalanced and deficient and cortisol is high and your GABA and your blood sugar, everything, right? You can just give yourself permission not to make these big decisions. And number two is we tend to beat ourselves up. And if it's not serving you, then you need to either give yourself like 5 minutes to let yourself just give yourself that session you need. And you say after the timer's over, that's it. I'm done. Now I'm going to work on things that are actually serving me.
You're letting anxiety run the show. You're making big life decisions that, are overcorrecting. And so now you're just going back and forth between the all or nothing and this iterative mindset where if you can clear all that anxiety and shame and then look and see like, okay, where did I not set myself up for success? Like taking responsibility, not for the outcome, but for the input. It matters where you are and then where do you want to be and how do you iterate, tinker, design strategies, test and see what works and what doesn't, what you like and what you don't like, and then just continue to move forward. And I think where most, especially over drinkers, get caught up is they don't know how to move on from their own mistakes. Change the goal to something smaller. Like I think one of my superpowers as a coach is if you tell me what you can't do, I'm going to break it down into just micro movements. Improvements fuel more improvements. And so you have to set a goal that you can actually achieve, which is why I personally call what you spoke to earlier the delay, don't deny strategy. Set the goal of having 1 hour between work and evening of relaxing without alcohol. That's it. Maybe 5 minutes if that's a lot.
You'll find that maybe you settle into that situation. All the reasons that you wanted to drink to sort of like relax start to go away, and you may drink less, you may not drink at all.
Yeah. Or you may realize you don't even want to fucking be there. And
Yeah.
that's why you run into the bar and you're like, oh, I got better things to do. This is a stupid conversation. Peace out, bitches.
Totally.
Like, I'm not staying.
Yeah.